The Burschenschaft, a secretive and influential student society, played a significant role in shaping the 19th century German nationalist movement. Emerging during a time of profound political upheaval and social transformation in Europe, the Burschenschaften, plural, became a vehicle for expressing the aspirations of a generation of students who sought to unify the fragmented German states into a cohesive nation. Through their ideals, rituals, and activism, these societies not only influenced the course of German history, but also left an enduring legacy that continues to inspire debate and reflection. The Burschenschaften were founded in the early 19th century, a period marked by the Napoleonic Wars and their aftermath. The Holy Roman Empire, a complex web of over 300 semi-independent states, had dissolved in 1806, leaving Germans grappling with questions of identity and unity. The defeat of Napoleon and the Congress of Vienna, 1814 to 1815, restored conservative monarchies and suppressed nationalist aspirations, creating a fertile ground for clandestine organizations like the Burschenschaften. The first Burschenschaft, known as the Jena Burschenschaft, was established in 1815 at the University of Jena. It was inspired by the ideals of the German Romantic movement, which emphasized cultural unity, historical consciousness, and the importance of a shared national identity. The society aimed to transcend regional differences among German-speaking peoples and promote a unified Germany. Its motto, Honor, Freedom, Fatherland, Ehre, Freiheit, Vaterland, encapsulated its values and goals. Membership in the Burschenschaften was exclusive, drawn primarily from university students who were seen as the intellectual and moral vanguard of the German nation. The societies adopted secretive structures with rituals, symbols, and coded language that fostered a sense of brotherhood and loyalty among their members. These elements also helped shield their activities from the prying eyes of conservative authorities who viewed them as subversive. The Burschenschaften were deeply rooted in the ideals of liberalism, nationalism, and social reform. Members envisioned a unified Germany that would be free from foreign domination and governed by constitutional principles rather than autocratic rule. This vision was influenced by Enlightenment ideas and the revolutionary currents of the late 18th and early 19th centuries, including the American and French revolutions. To achieve their goals, the Burschenschaften engaged in a range of activities, from organizing public demonstrations to publishing nationalist literature. They also held secret meetings and ceremonies that reinforced their commitment to the cause. One of the most famous of these events was the Wartburg Festival of 1817, held at Wartburg Castle in Thuringia. The festival marked the 300th anniversary of Martin Luther's 95 Theses and the 4th anniversary of the Battle of Leipzig, symbolically linking religious reform and resistance to foreign domination with the struggle for German unification. At Wartburg, students burned symbols of oppression, including books and objects associated with conservative authorities, in a ritualistic act of defiance. The radical ideals of the Burschenschaften inevitably drew the ire of conservative rulers and the Austrian Chancellor Clemens von Metternich, who sought to preserve the status quo established by the Congress of Vienna. The assassination of the conservative playwright August von Kotzebue in 1819 by Karl Ludwig Sand, a member of a radical student group, provided the pretext for a crackdown on liberal and nationalist movements. In response, the Carlsbad Decrees were enacted in 1819. These measures targeted the Burschenschaften and other perceived threats to state stability. The decrees mandated strict censorship of the press, increased surveillance of universities, and the dissolution of student societies. Professors and students suspected of harboring liberal or nationalist sentiments were dismissed or arrested, effectively driving the Burschenschaften underground. Despite this repression, the Burschenschaften continued to operate in secret. Their clandestine nature allowed them to survive and adapt, maintaining their networks and spreading their ideals among a new generation of students. Over time, their influence extended beyond university campuses, contributing to the broader German nationalist movement. The Burschenschaften played a significant role in the revolutions of 1848, a wave of uprisings that swept across Europe and challenged the old order. In Germany, the revolutions were driven by demands for constitutional government, civil liberties, and national unification. Many former and current members of the Burschenschaften were active participants in these movements, bringing their organizational skills, ideological fervor, and connections to the forefront. During this period, the Burschenschaften aligned with other liberal and nationalist groups to push for the creation of a unified German state. Their members were instrumental in organizing the Frankfurt Parliament, an assembly convened in 1848 to draft a constitution for a united Germany. Although the parliament ultimately failed to achieve its goals due to opposition from conservative monarchs and internal divisions, the involvement of the Burschenschaften underscored their commitment to the cause of unification and reform. The Burschenschaften's influence persisted even after the revolutions of 1848 were suppressed. Their ideals continued to resonate among German nationalists, contributing to the eventual unification of Germany in 1871 under the leadership of Otto von Bismarck. While the Burschenschaften themselves did not directly orchestrate this unification, their decades of advocacy for a German nation-state helped lay the intellectual and cultural groundwork for its realization. In the 19th century and beyond, the Burschenschaften also became a symbol of German identity and pride. However, their legacy is not without controversy. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, some Burschenschaften adopted exclusionary and reactionary ideologies, aligning themselves with nationalism that emphasized ethnic homogeneity and anti-Semitism. This shift mirrored broader trends in German society and tarnished the reputation of the movement. The Burschenschaften have faced criticism for their secretive nature and occasional radicalism. While their ideals of freedom and national unity were admirable, their methods sometimes alienated potential allies and provoked harsh responses from authorities. The assassination of Kotzebue, for example, damaged their credibility and provided conservatives with a justification for repression. Moreover, the exclusivity of the Burschenschaften limited their impact. By focusing primarily on university students, they failed to engage with broader segments of the population, such as the working class and rural communities, who were also crucial to the nationalist movement. This narrow focus contributed to the movement's fragmentation and eventual failure to achieve its goals in the short term. Today, the Burschenschaften remain an important part of German history, offering valuable insights into the dynamics of nationalism, liberalism, and social change in the 19th century. Their story highlights the power of ideas to inspire action and the challenges of pursuing radical change in the face of entrenched opposition. As modern Germany grapples with questions of identity and the legacy of nationalism, the Burschenschaften serve as a reminder of the complexities and contradictions inherent in such movements. They exemplify the potential for youthful idealism to drive societal transformation, as well as the dangers of allowing noble ideals to be co-opted by divisive or exclusionary agendas. In sum, the Burschenschaften were more than just student societies. They were catalysts for a broader cultural and political awakening in 19th century Germany. Their contributions to the nationalist movement were significant, shaping the discourse around German unity and laying the groundwork for future generations to build upon. Despite their challenges and controversies, the Burschenschaften remain a compelling example of how secretive organizations can influence the course of history.